Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. I think I have a lot to say, but I will reserve that for some of the sessions later on. First and foremost, I really want to thank everybody, all the partners. There's been quite a lot of people who've been involved in putting this together for you. Thank you so much for those who have joined already. I think it's going to be a phenomenal day. We've had some fantastic response to the event, which clearly shows that this is a topic that I think a lot of people are quite passionate about and maybe want to know a little bit more about. So thank you very, very much. And just to kind of echo a little bit of what Lee was saying, because I know the sound wasn't great. I mean, Africa has vast, vast opportunities, massive, incredible time, I think, for Africa to really play a big, big role within the global stage. And in terms of Lee did point out around, the opportunities around, we've got lots of natural resources, but apart from natural resources, which I think a lot of people know about, we have, talent. We've got young talent I'm very excited about today because we do have some of the young talent here today who are joining us. We've got some phenomenal businesses going on across the continent. The fintech ecosystem is starting to grow across Africa. We're looking at CBDC digital currency again, we're looking at a world where we're heading towards digital currencies. So it's a very, very exciting time for Africa. We have, of course, coming forward the Continental Free Trade Agreement. Again, lots to be excited about, lots to celebrate. So thank you very much and welcome to Africa. Nigeria is a big, big giant. I started my education in Nigeria, actually. I went to Atlantic Hall. Some of you would know where that is in Lagos. I lived in Victoria Island. So, I do feel very Nigerian, even though I'm not necessarily from there. So we welcome you with big, big open arms. And I'm just going to run a couple of slides just to do a little bit of an introduction before we jump in and introduce you to all the, panel members that I know you're all very excited about. So just quickly to give you a bit of an overview of what we are looking at Global Policy House. We've been very, very involved around trying to support people to understand more the digital transformation in the digital space. And one of the things that we are looking to doing is actually to help, with knowledge sharing and education around this space. And that is why we've put together the Central Bank Digital Currency Conference, partly to share knowledge, for us to actually to start the conversation and to drive the conversation from Africa by Africans. So you notice a lot of the giant speakers we've got with us today are very much from Nigeria, some are from across Africa. So very, very excited about that. We worked in partnership, as I said earlier on, with so many people, and we're very, very grateful. We have a fantastic sponsor as well, platinum sponsor. I am so excited as a fellow woman. We've got Tavonia Evans, who will follow me shortly, who has come and supported the event together with us, which is totally brilliant. So the women, I think, are driving the show, which is, again, very, very exciting. So in terms of, just to give quick overview, I think, there's a massive, one of the challenges we are trying to solve is obviously we stand there to try and close the digital divide. I think there's a massive digital divide across the world, and it isn't necessarily just Africa. So for us at Global Policy House, we're very passionate about making sure that people have access. We're starting to include everybody, especially now we're moving towards the digital revolution. We've all pivoted, whether we like it or not, because of COVID into the digital world. And the digital economy is very much going to drive quite a lot of that. And we want to make sure that people who are not included, kind of start to brought back into the system, including access to finance and the financial system as well. Next slide. And so for us, some of the service lines that we focus on, are very, very geared towards obviously the digital economy. We do a lot around things like blockchain. So yes, indeed, we are very, very much focused around ensuring that we can drive access to finance and investments for different groups. And very, very excited to be here as well. And next slide, again, we're talking just to give you a bit of an overview in terms of the areas that we've been covering. So for us, we've focused quite heavily around looking at blockchain as a technology to help support around things like inclusion and a whole range of other areas. So we're very, very involved at Global Policy House trying to support the understanding and education around blockchain. and very, very excited to have you here with us. We will cover this topic as we go along during the day, just to give you a bit of a picture. Next slide, please. And so for us, I think the journey, the focus is very much around digital transformation, and building those economies of tomorrow, and really working with groups of partners to actually drive that agenda. And as you can see from this graphic here, it takes a lot of steps, I think, before you get to a point where we're thinking about the cities of the future. This is really, really important. So you're thinking about smart cities and driving smart cities. I think it's not one technology that's important. It is not one area, be it AI or machine learning or just robotics, that's important. I think what's really key is that convergence of different technologies, be it AI, IoT, and blockchain together, that will help to really drive and move forward the digital transformation. So we're quite heavily involved around that. And it's, for us, it's not so much just about the technology. I think the technology is slightly the easier bit. I think it's about collaboration, about parties working together. Another reason we put this event together is to ensure the right parties are coming together to have that conversation, to say, how do we utilize, sort of digitization to drive growth, for inclusion, for financial inclusion, which is really, really important. I think as you go through the day-to-day, please think about how we can actually all work together to achieve those goals. It's not necessarily just about the tech. It's about the people and driving that opportunity so that everybody can thrive, that there's inclusion and there's sustainable development, which is really important. I mean, this little recipe we have here definitely helps with that journey. It's enabling, but it also takes the human factor to actually get that from point A to B. Next slide, please. And just to wrap up, I mean, this is something I will sort of talk about throughout the day in various sessions as well. We have worked and have presented this to the United Nations in terms of how do we look post-COVID? What is the post-COVID recovery framework look like? What are the opportunities post-COVID? I think in the context of Africa, because we're here talking about Africa, I think there's massive opportunities regardless of the impacts that will come out as a result of COVID, the economic impacts that will follow a lot of countries post-COVID can be very, very challenging. And the financing side of things also can be very, very challenging. So therefore, I do think when you're using, things like central bank digital currencies, which you hear about later on, there is an opportunity, but I don't think it's necessarily for every country in Africa. Post-recovery is very much around sort of being able to prepare, being able to protect and preserve, which are really, really important elements, be it you're utilizing digitization or whatever to do that, very, very important. But also kind of, we need to think, not react to pandemics or, issues that arise later on. We need to plan and prepare, and the access to data that we're starting to get now is going to help us plan and mitigate against even future pandemics, which is very, very exciting. So we put this recipe together, to just give a few suggestions and recommendations, and some will come later on as we discuss. We are moving towards the platform and the token economy. Again, when you're talking about CBDC, there's a lot of elements around that. So what does that look like? What does the monetary system look like as we move forward? Decentralized marketplaces are coming. You can see, I'm sure in Nigeria, the growth of fintechs that are coming in with different solutions and offers. How are we managing that? How are we, putting regulation in place? We will discuss that as we go throughout the day. And then digital assets, and again, are going to rise. What are we doing around monetizing with digital assets, especially important for Africa, because how do we ensure we retain wealth within the continent? How do we ensure those natural resources are actually giving benefits to the ordinary man and woman, to the SMEs, to the women entrepreneurs, that I know are, are there in Africa and are here today. So how do we do that? And then we need to be very people-centric. Our policies, our regulation, our frameworks have to be very people-centric. And the digital and the physical ecosystem have to merge one way or the other. So that's just a little recipe. We wanted to start this CBDC event by giving you solutions and following myself just now. Apology again for the glitch earlier on, but following myself will be Tavonia, who will come in just a minute. And just to kind of wrap up, quick housekeeping for the day. Please feel free to ask as many questions as you can. We've got people who are moderating the questions and who will field in the questions for us. We're very excited about the different panels that we have. If we have questions that we do not answer for you, we will follow that up later on. And please do feel free to engage. And now I'm so excited to introduce you to Tavania, who's been absolutely phenomenal woman. And I'll let her come in to talk about herself. Thank you very much, and her work. Thank you.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Yeah, actually it is morning where a lot of people are going. It's very early morning here. Hi everyone. I'm Tavana Evans. I'm the founder of Guapcoin. I'm a developer, an engineer, marketing expert, serial entrepreneur, and mom. I've been in technology for, I keep saying over 20 years, but I think it's like 25 now. Eventually it starts going up. But definitely over 20 years. I have been in the tech space, all aspects of tech, from behind the computer to in front of the computer, presenting new ideas and innovations, etc. I'm also a community activist. I'm very, very integrally active in my community. I'm very active amongst women in my community. And I just like do everything, but but I love technology, and I'm an overall geek. And yes, and Guapcoin. So I'm the founder of Guapcoin, and Guapcoin is a decentralized cryptocurrency that I created in 2017. Yes, I developed it initially. Now we have teams of developers. um I founded Guapcoin at the heels of my first startup, which was a platform called Safe to Meet. When I created Safe to Meet, there was a lot of buzz about it. There were a lot of people interested in it. But what I found out is that Black women receive less than 1% of venture capital, which was much to my surprise because I spent many years as a geek, and I'm thinking, wow, if I create these great things, I'm going to have access to capital to be able to put them out. Why not? Well, when I actually got in the space, in the startup space, I quickly came to the realization that Black women don't get funded. And that's just one piece of it. I guess you could say Black people in general, but Black women especially, we're kind of at the bottom of the funding ladder. So I ran into a cash problem. I ran into a capital problem, and I was like, this is not right. I was like, and I'm a solutionary. So I'm like, hey, what can we do to create the capital? If they're not going to give us the capital to put out the solutions that actually benefit our community and benefit just the average person, the average man and woman in the world, then where are we going to get these funds? And again, I'm a solutionary, so it's all about creating the funds. So I delved into the, I guess you could say, the back end side of blockchain technology and what it could offer us as a people. There's so many different things, but the main thing it could offer us is access to capital, which again was an issue that I had. But I didn't realize how many problems it solves until I continued down that journey. Like I literally every step down the journey, I'm coming in encountering more issues that it could solve. And at the heart of it is poverty, because not having access to capital, not having access to tools that make commerce easier, access to tools that make the transfer of money globally easier. These things are critical, when it comes to our global culture and the global diaspora. And blockchain and just cryptocurrency in general is something that solves that, of course. And I like to go back to the mission, the initial mission of Bitcoin, because we talk a lot about blockchain technology and we talk about all of the different things that blockchain can do. But Bitcoin was one thing, and that is to provide us with a P2P monetary system, with a new type of money. When you go on the website, bitcoin.org, that's what you're going to see, a new type of money. And what's interesting is when I talk about Guapcoin and I talk about cryptocurrency, I'm coming from the common man and woman, and I want them to know that this is money. That's the very first thing that I want them to know. Because 99% of the people who encounter this are not going to be interested in the heavily technological background of blockchain technology. My grandmother is 96 years old, and I have conversations with her about Guapcoin. But I'm not going to have conversations with her about how blockchain operates, et cetera. And honestly, I don't even think she really cares. But she is deeply excited about the idea that we're able to create a currency and that we're able to inject that currency into our community and use it on a day-to-day basis. That's what's most exciting to her. And that's what's most exciting to me. And that's my mission. So my mission is the everyday man and woman. Yes, I'm a geek. I'm a data scientist. I work with data. I love data, numbers. I love technology, but I'm also a mom. I have 8 children. And I want to see my children benefit from this technology as well and not be left behind. So our mission at Guapcoin is to expose, educate, and spread the power of decentralized finance and currency throughout the global diaspora. That is something I think that we're suffering. It's not up to par or where it needs to be. I'm excited to see how active it is on the continent in Africa. You guys are great. You guys are pushing forward in a major way in this space. But where I'm from in America, we're in a little bit of a sandbox of what they want us to know and what they don't want us to know. So it's my job to make sure that we do know what's available to us and that we take active participation in this whole creative process, because that's what we're doing. We're creating a whole new system of money globally, and we need to be very active in that process, a new kind of money. Now, in terms of what Guapcoin has achieved, we essentially have created an ecosystem to use Guapcoin, to analyze Guapcoin, to spend Guapcoin, to receive Guapcoin, to send Guapcoin. We've created that ecosystem. We have wallets on every platform. We have mobile wallets, we have digital wallets, we have desktop wallets. We have nodes, we have created just a nice little ecosystem to be able to use it. And that's the foundation of it. Since 2017, we understood that we're going to have to create the ecosystem, create it, build it, and they come. And we didn't have much funding. We still don't have much funding. A lot of it is community funded. And a lot of it, in the early part of it, was funded by myself. So we were able to pull together all of these things and even more when you had other ICOs and other coins that came out that raised millions of dollars and still has not achieved mass adoption. So, so what is the missing piece? What is the missing element? We think that's also something that we're going to solve with Guapcoin, and that's the mass adoption of cryptocurrency. We understand that Black people in the diaspora have been responsible for spreading trends all over social media, whether it's Black Twitter, whether it's Instagram, whether it's just the celebrity culture. We have integrally been the influencers of the planet. And we have not successfully monetized that neither the way we need to. But cryptocurrency or Guapcoin can perhaps solve that problem as well. So there's many, many problems that we have as Black people that we're coming to realize that money is the root of it. And being able to create our own money, being able to circulate our own money, and being able to make an impact in that way can solve a lot of our inherent problems. So where are we going? I said I was a data scientist. So data is a large part of it. And data is actually another currency that we don't own. But Guapcoin is definitely trailblazing down that solution as well. We partnered with a company called TrustB. And TrustB is an analytic company that analyzes blockchain data. And we've created a dashboard that will allow us to analyze the data within Guapcoin and pretty much provide a view into how we're making an impact on Black-owned businesses and small businesses. Now, the wonderful thing is small business is our power. We call it small business, but within the Black community and the global diaspora, that's our power. When I visited Ghana, I saw more small businesses and more small business people than I ever seen in life, all in one place. And I was so excited. I was like, wow, I mean, we are definitely the moguls when it comes to small business. So having a link, having a connection like a cryptocurrency that can connect us and connect small businesses from across the ocean, from the continent of Africa to America, is a huge thing. So what we're doing is we're taking on a huge endeavor that's going to change the face of money and change the face of finance on this planet. So it's very, very, very important. So oftentimes we're asked, we're like, well, why the target of Black culture or the global diaspora? And it's clear to me as formerly a young girl from the streets of Brooklyn that we need trust. We need to be able to see our faces actively involved in the creation process and the creation of these things. When you go to Bitcoin, you know, I, as a tech person, I'm very excited about Bitcoin and I understand the anonymity behind the creators. But when you look at the people who are largely representing it, who are at the quote unquote top, who are the top holders of Bitcoin, you see a lot of repetitive images of our current monetary system, our current financial system. And that is not going to breed much trust in our community. That is not going to excite our community, especially at this point in our lives. At this point in America, we have a lot of racial disparity. We're understanding that. We're fighting against it, and we're making changes. So we want to see more inclusion, you know, more diversity. And in blockchain, in cryptocurrency, you're still not seeing the level of diversity that it's going to take to bring in the trust that's going to create the mass adoption of this cryptocurrency. Essentially, we're not going to go running behind you and lending our spending power, lending our creative power, lending our energy to yet another system that does not benefit us. So thus, again, the necessity for something like Wapcoin. So our connection to Africa. Again, when I visited Ghana and for the first time, and I saw the spectrum of small business, and I saw where it all comes from, where we get it from, where we get the hustle from over in New York, where we get the hustle from in America, I was like, wow, this is our connection. This is the global small business connection. And it's greater than just here in America where I am. It's greater than overseas. With Guapcoin, with other cryptocurrencies, with digital currencies in general, it's going to link the supply chain in a way that's never been linked before. And it's going to give us access to things that we've never had access to before. And that access is going to grow us abundantly on both sides. So Guapcoin is very, very happy to be a part of that and happy to be a potential road where that can occur. Building trust here in America using virtual currency amongst our community is going to bridge the gap across the seas to Africa. So again, there are so many different things. It's like every day we encounter new obstacles that we can overcome. We're getting and delving deeper into decentralized finance. They're building more products on top of cryptocurrency, more finance products, more loans, more lending, peer-to-peer lending, all of these different institutions that cryptocurrency has made possible and that blockchain has made possible. So the missing element is us. And the missing element is the trust that we can put our energy into something that is going to benefit us directly. And yes, we all know it is going to benefit us. But again, we have to convince the other 99% that it's going to benefit us. And we do that by putting out innovations like Guapcoin, by showing up with our faces and saying, hey, we're a part, we're here too. You know, we're a part of this. This cryptocurrency is not just, this cryptocurrency thing is not just Mark Zuckerberg and Libra and Facebook. It's much bigger than that. You know, we had the issue recently, which I'm a delegate for blockchain to Congress with an organization, Black Women in Blockchain. And we had the issue of, you know, Facebook and data challenges and how it impacts us and how it influences our community, whether negatively or, you know, whether it's helping us or not. And then they were adding blockchain on top of that, you know. So now we're like, oh, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna put some stable coins in here as well. And that would have been the entry for most people into this ecosystem, a controlled entry that has not favored us. So we're fast fighting to put ourselves ahead so that we don't get taken advantage of again, and we don't lose, and we don't lose the opportunity to create an ecosystem that can tie us in closer as a diaspora. So it's so much. It's a really, really great time, and I'm very, very happy to be here. And I'm very happy to tell you about Guapcoin and, you know, our relationship, our coming and pending relationship with Africa. We are on the heels of launching a full initiative, Guap Africa, Guap Nigeria, Guap. We want to be all over the place, you know, and we have an opportunity to be that first voice where people haven't heard of Bitcoin. They don't even know what Bitcoin. I've encountered so many people in America, especially in our community, that never heard of Bitcoin, and their first introduction to cryptocurrency is Guapcoin. So that's amazing, because what it does is it traditionally, when altcoins have come out, they've been tied to Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin's value is fluctuating, these altcoin values are fluctuating. These altcoins are married into the direction of Bitcoin. We also have another potential first. And our potential first is that we are not tied to Bitcoin, because our community, our users, our supporters, they don't know anything about Bitcoin. So again, they know about Guapcoin, you know? So there's a lot of potential firsts that we have. And we're proud of those firsts, because we feel that we need that value. We need those values in our community. We need to know that we created this so that we can have the type of trust that we can expand and continuously build on it. I don't know where I am on my time because I've been talking. And I'm very excited about, again, having this conversation and participating in this. I'm very well aware of central bank currencies and the direction of where that's going. And I understand that there needs to be some level of cooperation between banking, especially banking within the diaspora, our banking, you know what I mean? Because our banking has fought to get into our communities and fought to offer products to our communities that were not traditionally offered or we didn't have access to, right? So there's a place in our community for traditional banking and working together. So we're not trying to, you know, with decentralized cryptocurrencies or with Guapcoin overthrow, you know, the everything. We're definitely trying to cooperate and work together and give people options and alternatives to be able to just transact and run their business and grow their business and send money to their family in an instant, and have greater control over their finances in the future. So yeah, I think I'm at time, but thank you very much. You can visit us at guapcoin.org. You can follow me as Crypto Diva. You can follow Guapcoin everywhere. We're everywhere. We definitely have had a lot of media. If you Google Guapcoin, we've been pretty much everywhere, and we'll continue to be everywhere, because we're gonna beat this thing into the ground until our community becomes aware of the power of cryptocurrency and Guapcoin.